Om. Om. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We invite all of you for the online satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. So we are going to do the study circle today on Gita Vahini. This is very beautiful scripture. So all of you must have heard Bhagavad Gita is a universal scripture where the Lord Krishna gave thousands of years ago the message which is eternal, universal, and is applicable to everyone for all the ages. It was relevant before, it is relevant now, it will be relevant in the future. So this is why this was given so much importance by our Lord Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. He gave many discourses on Bhagavad Gita on many occasions, and also he wrote a beautiful series of articles on Gita in Sanathana Sarathi, which were compiled together as Gita Vahini, which is the commentary on the Gita, which is Lord Krishna, what he spoke is Swami is speaking again. This is very beautiful. Here I want to just tell briefly about the importance of Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Whenever we say Gita, we think Bhagavad Gita, but there are many Gitas. In thing, there is Vashishta Gita, there is God Uddhava Gita, where Lord Krishna talked to Uddhava. There is Ashtavakra Gita, where is talked by the Ashtavakra. So there are on the Avadhuta Gita, which is given. So there are many, many Gitas, but of them, this is only one called Bhagavad Gita. That means this is a Gita given by the Lord Krishna, the Paripurna Avatar. We talked before when we did the Sutra Vahini. This is for all spiritual seekers. The scriptures emphasize three main texts. One is Upanishads, second is Brahma Sutras, and third is Bhagavad Gita. So here we last time before we went to Gita, we did the Brahma Sutras. So I want people just at least to know what little background. Upanishads is a revelation of the truth from the to the rishis by God. It is like a revelation. They, in their deep contemplation, this truth came out. So there was a guru and a shishya. We talked about how Varuni and Bhrigu, they had a thing, and similarly they had Uddalaka, they have Svetaketu, like that. Very between the discussion between the guru and Shishya. Shishya wants clarification. I want to go to Brahma Vidya. How to realize? Tell me the way. You remember that is where the Varuni Vidya, he tells, first go to Annamaya Kosha, then Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, and finally Atma. So these are all revelations by the Rishis. And then we did last few months Sutra Vahini. What is Sutra Vahini? That is about Brahma Sutras. So where Swami himself gave the commentary, but that is written by the Rishi called Badarayana. Badarayana Rishi wrote Brahma Sutras, and they are so complicated, so you need to have commentary. Many people, Adi Shankara has written commentary, and many monks, Gambhira, Ananda, many people have given beautiful commentary. And our Swami has also written, which we finished last time. And now we are going to the third, the scripture among this text is Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So there are three things we all talk about in spiritual life: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. So everything is with, otherwise time is waste. One is Shravanam, you listen, like you listen to the scriptures or listen to the glories of God. So once you listen, Swami says, for some people it goes through 1 year and comes out through a year. That is no good. That is just Shravanam. But Shravanam, after you should have Mananam. That means you contemplate. Hey, what did we hear? What is the purpose? So just you contemplation. That is called Mananam. Very important. So, like Swami gave a beautiful example when I was in Vrindavan, he was talking to the students. He says, "You all heard these things. They were crying, Swami, we have to leave you and go away." No, there is not that. He gave the example of a cow. Cow goes to the fields and eats the grass quickly, it gobbles up, eats. And then after doing that, it goes to a quiet corner and brings out this thing, cut and chews it till it digests. Similarly, this is the process of mananam, wherein you contemplate, and that is the very important part of spirituality. Not only listening is, because the more you contemplate, let me tell you my practical experience. Same shloka, when I read when I was 5 years old, when I was 10 years old, 15, 30, 40, 50, each time, the shloka is the same, Lord, but the meaning is different because our own sadhana and our reflection and our contemplation. So that's very important. Contemplation is as important. That is, and then nididhyasana, just to contemplate, but you don't practice, is no use. So last portion is nididhyasana, put into practice. Here, these three scriptures, Upanishads, are compared to Shravana. Just you listen. The Guru is telling and Shishya listens. I am Atma Brahma. So like that, whatever teaching. Just you are listening. And next stage, the sutras, Brahma Sutras are referable to Manana. Just they are good for contemplation. What you heard, you go on contemplating. I am Brahman. You have the credentials for Brahman. And third is this Bhagavad Gita, which is Nididhyasana. That is for practical. That is why the practical Vedanta. Bhagavad Gita is a practical Vedanta. Just how to do daily life. Because Upanishads, they were given in a forest. They used to sit in the forest, under the tree, or in a lake, in a cave, under the seashore. And the teacher used to insert in nice, beautiful. But where did Lord Krishna give the Bhagavad Gita? In the middle of the battlefield. In the middle of battlefield, you think about having a spiritual discourse, people will laugh at it. Yeah, we are fighting, want to kill. And here, it's a beautiful thing. We should remember, why does he give in the middle of battlefield? Because we are all in the middle of battlefield. That is why in the beginning itself, Dharma Kshetre, Kuru Kshetre. Kuru means action. Kshetra means, Kuru means action. Kshetra means field. Field of action. We are all in the field of action. We are all in the battlefield. But it should be a Dharma Kshetre. That battlefield should be where there is Dharma. It should be on behalf of the Dharma Kshetra. So we are all in battlefield. You can remember morning to evening, we are in the battlefield, either at home or at work or in the society or in the organization. What is battlefield? Confrontation between good and evil. That's all is battle. And we all go through the individual level itself. Sometimes we get negative thoughts, positive. There is a battle between that. In the family confrontations, where in the at workplace and in the society, in the organization, the whole secret is how to act with the detachment. That is the whole beautiful secret, so that finally you realize the truth. That is very important. So to remember, the Bhagavad Gita is given in the middle of the battlefield for sake of everybody. Even Arjuna was just an instrument, but it is not just for Arjuna. Thousands of years, so many spiritual seekers all over the world. It is not just in India or someplace. There are so many Western mystics like Max Muller, Schopenhauer, so many, even Oppenheimer, who discovered the atom bomb, who was in New Mexico. There is a Bhagavad Gita shloka there. So just how when they exploded, this says equivalent thousands of suns. That is what he compares the Gita shloka. So that is such a profound impact all over the world. That's why it is translated in so many languages all over. And God himself, Swami himself, has written the commentary on Gita Vahini. That is the important of Bhagavad Gita. We should, when you know the value, what a valuable treasure we have in these shlokas, where Lord Krishna was teaching Arjuna in the middle of battlefield how to win the battle, because he was dispirited. Like sometimes in life also we have problems, we want to give up. That is what Arjuna is. Not an ordinary man, great hero. He could win any number of enemies. But that man, when he faced these people, particularly, not that they are very difficult to conquer, but his attachment, his moha, mine, my grandparents, my cousins, my guru, like that. Because of that, he got unnerved. So this whole weakness is this feeling of minus. Then Lord Krishna gives enthusiasm. He says, "Taktos chishta parantava," get up. It is very despicable. Shudram hrudayadautbalyam, he says. Very despicable to be weak like this and depressed. Shudram, he says, hrudayadautbalyam, the weakness of the heart. So always whenever we get depressed, dejected, we should think, hey, that is, Lord Krishna doesn't accept that. Just face it, face the devil, fight to the end. So that is, we need to face the challenges of life. That is a very important. And this Bhagavad Gita, what is it called? It is Brahma Vidya. That's why there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, starting Vishada Yoga, ends with Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Every chapter after ending, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so Upanishads, so Brahma Vidya, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, Yoga Shastra. 3 things emphasizes. It is like a Upanishad by itself, Gita. Second is, it is a Brahma Vidya. That means it gives you the knowledge of Brahman. That is the whole purpose of life, is to get the Brahma Vidya. And then it is also yoga. It means it makes you union with God. What is happiness? Union with God. So every chapter they talk, this is a Upanishad, it is a Brahma Vidya, and it is a Yoga Shastra. So that is the beauty, power of this Bhagavad Gita. So before we start the regular reading, I want, usual tradition is, because it's such a sacred text, 3 things. First, you pay respects to Lord Krishna, who is a Paripurna avatar. He is the one who gave. So there are many shlokas, just I will tell one which is important. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Krishnam vande jagadguru. So I salute the Lord Krishna, who is Jagat Guru, universal teacher. There are so many people claim, but the real universal teacher he is, because his message is for the whole universe. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. I salute the Lord Krishna, who is a universal teacher. What will he do? Mukam karoti vachalam. He can make the dumb, the one who cannot speak, eloquent, not just ordinary, but he can make them eloquent. Pangum langhayate girim. The lame person, he can make them cross mountains. Pangum langhayate. Mukam karoti vacharam pangum langhayate girim at krupatamaham vande Krishnam vande jagmat. The Lord, you shower your grace on me. That kind of Lord. Because if his grace is there, we can cross the ocean of samsara. It is not just practical thing. Actually, it happened in our own Swami. So I think it is in Karnataka state or Kerala. Swami was visiting, and he gave many discourses, and somebody said there was a boy who was dumb, so he could not speak from birth. He was not able to, because there are some deaf few. So somebody said, oh, Sai Baba can cure anything. They brought to Swami and he could speak. So they were so happy. And so next day, Swami has to sneak out and go because there was a big, next day people, the news went so fast. There was a huge line of people because his purpose is to give jnana to people, not that's only function just as a visiting card to attract people, that there is, he can do any kind of thing. So next day, so he really made the dumb, the eloquent. And same thing, he can make people walk. We have seen so many cases like Justice Mishra was sharing, we share so many people who are disabled, could not walk with polio, many illnesses from child. They go into the interview room, Swami says, walk, and they walk. So we have seen that. So he can make the people lame walk. So this is not just a theoretical, it is the Lord Krishna, same thing. You can see the Bhagavatam, how he has really did these wonderful leelas. So that is what the salutation to Lord Krishna. Second thing is, Bhagavad Gita itself we should need to salute, because even Sridi Baba used to say, scriptures are as much as the God. So you should always, whenever a scripture, you should talk it with respect. Bhakta, Bhagawan, Bhagavatam. Devotee also you should respect God, and Bhagavatam is scripture. So this is also another important thing. It will give the summary of what the Bhagavad Gita is. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. Who told this Bhagavad Gita? Narayanena Swayam. Lord Narayana himself taught to Partha. This is Partha. Bhagavate Narayana Vyasena Graditam. Who wrote that? Vyasa, great sage. Purana Muninam. Where is it? So a lot of people don't. Where is Bhagavad Gita? Madhye Mahabharatam. In Mahabharata, in the middle of Mahabharata, it is there. Like everything, 18 is the favorite, because 18 is a Brahma Sankhya, 9. So 18 parvas are there, 18 chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita. They fought the war for 18 days, and the Vahinis are 18. This 18 is a powerful thing. So this Madhye Mahabharatam. And what is this? Advaitamruta Varshinim Bhagavati. What is there in this thing? Advaita Amrutam. That means the nectar of Advaita is there in this whole Bhagavad Gita. Varshinim, it is like a shower of the nectar of Advaita. Advaita Amruta Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim. 18th chapter. Amba, Mother Gita. Tvam Anusandadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. What is the advantage of doing this? Your whole samsara is gone. Bhavaroga. We all have common disease. Some people have diabetes, some blood pressure, some back pain, some brain tumor or lung tumor. That is different people, different. But one thing is common to everybody, whether you are a young or old, man or woman, rich or poor, king or pauper, everybody. That is Bhavaroga. Common to all. Because that is the time we are born, we all have Bhavaroga. So for that, this is the treatment. This is the medicine. Bhavadveshini. It does that. So this is beautiful. We need to remember who gave the Bhagavad Gita? Lord Narayana himself gave. Not a Rishi, not a sage, not a guru, not anybody, but God himself gave this. That's why it is so powerful. Every word is like a mantra. And to whom? Partha, Arjuna, so that we can get that. And what is, it is 18 chapters full of this Advaita, nectar of Advaita, and by contemplating on that, all our Bhavarogas will be gone. That is the power. So there, another shloka, he says importance. This all you should remember the power of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandana. All these Upanishads are considered like a cow. So you have got so many 108 Upanishads. There are 10 Upanishads which are prominent. These are all comparable to a cow. These have beautifully comparison. Dogdha Gopalanandana. Who is milking those cows? Gopala, our Lord Krishna. Partho Vatsa. Who is the calf? Is Arjuna. Because you need to stimulate the mother cow to give the milk. So Partho Vatsa, because he goes on asking questions, he is like that. He is an agent for us to get the knowledge. Partho Vatsa. Sudhir Bhokta, who is the one who is enjoying the milk? We, people with good jijnasu, people who want to know that. Sudhir Bhokta, we are all the one who derive benefit. Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahatu. What is the milk? Gita Amrutam. The nectar of Gita is that. So, Lord is Krishna is milking the Upanishads. So, you don't need to read all the Upanishads. Humanly, a lot of people don't have possibility. So, just you read this. This is the essence of all Upanishads. That one is Lord Krishna, and he gave the pretext of Arjuna. He gave it to all of us. Sudhir Bhokta. He says, who is going to enjoy it? Anybody won't enjoy. People, yeah, this is boring. He says, Sudhi, the one who has good intellect or good discrimination only will like it. Otherwise, this Gita, who wants to read, is boring. This is for old people. I think it is for people who are in the middle of. That is why Swami used to say, if your Gita is good, you will read Gita. Gita means your lines, that your destiny is good, then only you will read Gita. That is when the word is Gita means line. Your Gita is, your destiny is good, you are going to read Gita. And also, what is the essence of the whole Gita? That is where Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said beautifully. You said Gita, 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 Gita. What will happen? Tagi, Tagi. So it teaches Tyaga, sacrifice. That is what the whole substance is. Do action, but renounce the fruits of action. So the whole secret is, Swami says, to reach the goal is love and sacrifice. So Gita, our destiny is good, we'll read the Gita, and it teaches us the sacrifice. So just I wanted to emphasize little background about what Bhagavad Gita is. People, sometimes we don't know, because even some scholars, they talk about Bhagavad Gita, where is it? It is probably in Bhagavatam or Rama. And so this is very important. Where it is, who gave that, to whom he gave, and what is the importance. And just even one or shlokas a day, Swami says, is enough. That's why Swami says there are 700 shlokas. So in a match box, we have got so many matchsticks. To light it, how many matchsticks you need? Good matchstick, only one, right? So you don't need anything. But if the matchsticks are wet, you have the whole full of matchstick, it won't be used. Similarly, if you are really dry, you're alert up to that, one matchstick is the one shloka, Manmana Bhava. There are so many shlokas, each one you go on contemplating, and that itself will take the goal. That is the importance. The main thing is how you will dive deep into that shlokas and meaning. That is very important. Now we will start with the greetings. So just, I think, hope all of you have the PDF file on your thing. If not, you can get a book, Gita Vahini. You can get it from our book center. And we also have some extra copies. People who want, we can share. But we sent you the PDF copy. Please look at it. Go ahead.
Greetings. Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is the Sanathana Sarathi, the timeless charioteer, who communicated the Gita Sastra to Aditya and helped Manu and King Ishwaku to know it. He was the charioteer of Arjuna during the great battle between good and evil fought out at Kurukshetra. When the rider Arjuna was overcome with grief at the prospect of the fight, Krishna instructed him in the science of recognizing one's oneness with all and removed the grief and the fear. He is the charioteer even now for every one of us. Let me greet you as a fellow sufferer and a fellow disciple. We have but to recognize him and accept him in that role, holding the reins of discrimination and flourishing the whip of detachment to direct the horses of the senses along the path of Sathya, asphalted by Dharma and illumined by Prema towards the goal of Shanti. Arjuna accepted him in that role. Let us do likewise. When worldly attachment hinders the path of duty, when ambition blinds the eyes of sympathy, when hate shuts out the call of love, let us listen to the Gita. He teaches us from the chariot whereon he is installed. Then he showers his grace, his vision, and his power, and we are made heroes fit to fight and win. This precious book is not a commentary or summary of the Gita that was taught in the field of Kurukshetra. We need not learn any new language or read any old text to imbibe the lesson that the Lord is eager to teach us now for victory in the battle we are now waging. This Gita Vahini is the same stream, refreshing and revitalizing, brought by the same divine restorer to revivify man caught in the mesh of modern dialectics, in the pride of modern science, in the cynical scorn of modern superficiality. The teaching here set forth will comfort, console, and confer strength and faith. Let us listen to these words with as much care and concentration as Arjuna had, even in the turmoil of a battlefield. And we too will declare when the book nears its final pages, my delusion is dissolved. I have become aware of my reality, which is God. The ancient charioteer, who is in you and me, has responded to the call of the conflict-ridden hearts. He gave these lessons in the Sanathana Sarathi that is published from the Prashanthi Nilayam. Now they are with you between covers as a book which you can read as often as you can or must. May the faith with which you have started to scan these pages grow from day to day. May you be drawn by the ever widening vista of knowledge which this book reveals to the grand glory of the experience of the oneness, which is the basis of this manifoldness. Professor N. Kasturi. Gita Vahini, Chapter 1.
No, just this is important, this kind of introduction by Professor N. Kasturi. And also some people may not know who is Professor Kasturi. A lot of Sai devotees know Professor N. Kasturi is an exemplary devotee who served Swami for many decades. And as it is such a great devotee at the end when he was leaving his body, Swami himself personally went there, made sure, because that time my father was there when he was leaving, and even my daughter was there, Harini. So they were there, and then Swami himself made sure when the last moment to show the importance, because the last moment, the thoughts you have, Lord Krishna says that if you are thinking about God, that you will be liberated. So it's very important not to be disturbed by the various thoughts. So they were there, and then there was a tap, which was little leak was there. Sometimes taps a little dribbling water, tick, tick, tick. Swami made sure they completely stopped that. Even that thing for our soul could be disturbing, so that you cannot focus completely on God. So Swami said that, and he personally was there. So that kind of wonderful devotee. And he is the one, in those days, they didn't have computers, they didn't have sophisticated typewriters, voice recorders. Poor man, he himself took all the notes, write it, and then transcribe it. It's old typewriter, type it, edit it, and publish it, and put in Sanathana Sarathi. And he used to himself take it to the post office, mail it. So that kind of dedicated personality he was. So just you need to read, if you want to know how to love God, he talked about in his autobiography, Loving God. You should read. So that is Professor Kasturi, who wrote about Swami, the first biography, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. So he wrote all the 4 volumes. which talk about the glory of Swami and which brought many people to Swami. But here in the beginning, he's talking about Lord Krishna tells, actually in the Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna, I told this Gita before to sun god. And then it went to also Manu. Manu is the one who is the beginning for the human race. And Ichwaku, that is even before Rama. So that Rama is much before Lord Krishna. And that time when he was telling this to Arjuna, and Lord Krishna was only 85, 87, who knows exactly. He lived, they say, up to 125. So when he was fighting in the war, that old man, that time right now, you will be bedridden 80 years, you will not even live. But those days, he was all ready to fight. Those days, the Bhishma, they were all, in the 80s, they were heroes fighting. So he was, even though that time, so he was telling Arjuna gets confused. You are only 80 something. You said you start sun god, you start Manu. You are telling some stories. Then he reveals, hey, this is not me. I was there. I am here. I will be ever there. That is why he's the eternal charioteer. Like that, similarly, we have started this Sathya Sai is now eternal companion. It's not only a charioteer taking us, he is there with us all the time, always as our friend, guiding us, guarding us, and be with us, comforting us, consoling us. So here, they are beyond time and space. We, in our ignorance, confine God to a form and a name. That is why Lord Krishna says, Avajananti mudham manushim tanumashritam. Parambhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. These ignorant people, mudha, is that means they don't have mola. Mola, what is it's called that? They don't have sense. They say they think they're insulting me by thinking I am this body. So whenever we think Swami is only that body, we are insulting. There is only one God, he is omnipresent. That is conviction should be there. He is in everywhere, everything. He is the form, make us realize the truth. But he is not just, don't confine him to a name, a form, and a place. That is what Lord Krishna tells him when he wonders, how could you teach sun god? So there is one thing to show that God is omnipresent. He was ever there. There's one message he thinks. And second thing is, Arjuna, as I said, great hero, but he was confused. Such a great man. We all can reading books, scriptures is different, but times of crisis, we can all get deluded. Maya is so powerful. So why? Because of his attachment. His Swami says, three things which will ambition, attachment, these things can take you up away from the goal. Classical example is Arjuna versus Duryodhana. And before the war happens, all of you know the story. What happened? Lord Krishna was resting. They both went to help, ask for help to Lord Krishna. He told them to choose. Either you have a huge army, which Lord Krishna has, the weapons, everything, or choose me, that is Lord Krishna himself. What will he do? I won't take any arm. I won't fight. I will just be there. Choose what you want. So what will a lot of people in the worldly sense, they will choose? Beautiful, so much army, so much thing. So that naturally they will say, who will choose a person who doesn't want to even fight, take an arm or anything like that? So this man who is the Duryodhana, because he has attachment, he has ambition, he has no proper thing, he chooses that naturally, which like most of the people would do that. We laugh at that now because we know. But Arjuna, the wise man, decides, it doesn't matter whether you fight. You are, as long as God is on my side, he knows I will win. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanuddharaha, Tatra Sri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatima. Wherever Lord is with us, that is why we should always think, it doesn't matter our family, friends, this and that. They may all fail us. You know the classical example of Draupadi. In front of her, the disrobed, her own husbands, who are there, 5 of them, who are heroes, could not do anything. And the great heroes like Bhishma, Drona, the grandparents and the hero, none of them could help, but only Lord Krishna helped. So you should dream. So choose always God more the family, friends. You love all of them, family, friends, everybody. But the choice number one is this. So the Arjuna chose. Even when he chose that, He was confused. He was deluded. Then what he says, Lord, I am deluded. I am confused. I don't know what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. Tell me the way. Yes. Show me the way. That is why we also should say, we think, oh, we know everything, we are smart. Then God won't come in your way. So just only when you say, Lord, I don't know what is right and what is wrong. Please help me. Like the same thing, Draupadi. As long as she was holding her sari to protect herself, doing her thing, Lord, when she finally gave up everything, Lord, I don't know, with the both hands, you do what you want. Complete surrender. Then the Lord Krishna comes. Because when you partial surrender, God says, okay, he's taking care. Actually, there is a story Swami said. There was a guy. So there was, I think he was a dhobi guy. He was beating the clothes. And India, the way he was looking, somebody was nicely taking away his clothes, stealing the clothes. He ran after him. He's saying, Narayana, Narayana, help. So Lord Narayana heard that. Oh, he wanted to help. And then meanwhile, he got hold of the thief. And Mother Lakshmi was there watching it. He was getting up to go and help because he's called Narayana, Narayana to you. Then meanwhile, he got hold of that guy. He started beating him left and right. Then Narayana came back and sat back. You went there, what happened? You didn't even go. No, he called me and now he's taking care of himself. Why should I go and help? He is managing like that. In life, it is complete surrender. So just not that partial, just Lord, do it, but you do the thing. So just you say, Lord, you know what is the best. So same thing, Lord Krishna gives Gita only after he completely surrenders. Karpanya doso upatas, dharma sammudha chetam, puchamitvam dhamma sammudha. I'm asking you, please, I completely surrender into you. Then only Lord Krishna says. And there is another important message. And finally, the most important is, he says here, my delusion is dissolved. I have become aware of my reality, which is God. This is the famous thing. It says, delusion, nashto moho. That means my moha. We are all, what is moksha? Swami repeated, said, moha chaya is moksha. We are all a moha. We have all this delusion of I and mind. The minute is gone, we don't need to die. The minute moha is gone, we are liberated. Moha chaya is moksha. Nashto moho. That means, he says, my moha, my delusion is gone. What happens? Smrutir labdha. That means I got back my memory. That means as if he has no memory, he had memory. That means my memory, who I am. We sing the song, remind me, my Lord, remind me who I am. I know who I am now. Before I thought I am this body, mind, I am this Arjuna. Now I know I am divine. Nashto moho smrutir labdha. How did you get it? Tvat prasadat maya achyuta. By your grace. By your grace, my Lord, my delusion is gone and I got to know who I am. Sitosmi gata sandeha. Now all my doubts are gone. In life, always doubts. We have, is this true or the Swami did this, do that. As long as you have doubts, that is way to perdition, way to down, going down. So he says, Sitosmi gata sandeha. All my doubts are gone. My delusion is gone. My confusion is gone by your grace. Now, Harishya, last vachan, the students did a beautiful drama under Swami's directorship. Harishya vachanam tava. That means I will do what you say. Harishya means I will do. Vachanam tava. Your words I will implicitly follow. That is the whole secret. How do you get rid of the delusion? How to get rid of doubts? By two things. By his grace, Tat Prasada, and completely doing exactly what he wants. That is why in 1968, May 17th, 1968, First World Conference, Swami said, more than doing japa, tapas, meditation, service, what will help you the most is implicitly, completely, immediately follow my divine command. That will give you the ultimate goal. That is what here Lord Krishna, he is telling, Lord, now I will do what you say. So that is what Lord Krishna tells him. But Lord Krishna also is a great guru. So after telling the whole Gita, you see that we force our friends, our family, do this, otherwise I don't like. Lord Krishna, you should take the example. After telling the whole Gita, after he tells him, okay, this is good, this is not good, this is do it, do it. Finally he says, Yathe chesi tata kuru. If you want, Krishna can tell, hey, if you don't do it, I will use my Sudarshan Chakra, your head is gone. He can do that. He has so much power, he can do anything. But he didn't say that. He says, do as you please. I told you what is good. If you wanted to do that same thing, we should take that example, whether it is the family, friends, relatives, children. So our duty to tell what is correct, but should be by not by force, by source. No, my duty to tell, because you asked me what is good. But now the final thing is you have to make a choice. That is the important. These are the very important message. And the last one is the faith. It says you should have, each time you should have more and more faith. The whole secret, like Shirdi Baba used to say, what are the things? Two dakshina, 2 coins he wanted, Nishta and Saburi, faith and patience. And our Swami also says, but faith and love. That is Shraddha and Bhakti. I don't know whether we are ready to start chapter 1, so it's just only 5 minutes. Is there thing we can start, or we can go to the... Okay, good. Read it. Chapter 1.
Gita Vahini, Chapter 1. To understand the meaning of the Gita, the reverential approach is necessary. You must take up its study in an attitude of submission and expectancy. For the Gita is the milk of the Upanishads, drawn by the cowherd Krishna with the help of Arjuna, the calf, for all the dull-witted to drink and draw sustenance from. There are some who argue that the Gita as a sacred poem was a creation later than the Mahabharata of which it is a part. But whatever may be said of the composition of the Gita, there is no doubt that the principles and teachings of the Gita are ancient, nay, dateless. In the first 3 slokas of the 4th chapter, reference is made to the Lord instructing the Gita to Surya, sun, first, and later to Manu, and to the fact that from Manu it reached Ishwaku and thence to others in succession. So, the Gita is beyond the category of time, and it cannot be assigned to a particular point of time, past or present.
Yeah, I think we discussed already the whole thing, how the beautiful example, how Swami started, because we do that dhyana shlokam for Lord Krishna and the Gita. Now he is telling the same thing. We need to remember this point, Shravana. So by next week, we should manana, thinking where it is and what it is for. Okay, you can continue one more paragraph, right? Still 5 minutes, is there?
The Gita is a text for spiritual practitioners, for it emphasizes sadhana, spiritual discipline, and spiritual attitudes more than anything else. Every chapter lays down means and methods of reaching the goal of peace and harmony. Now, sadhana is the product of keen and steady yearning for progress. The aspirant must aspire, not despair. He must persevere, not clamor for quick success. The Gita is as a boat which takes man across from the self-imposed state of bondage to the freedom which is his nature. He is taken from darkness to light, from lusterlessness to splendor. The Gita ordains for man disciplines and duties which are free from the taints of vasanas, tendencies, and impulses that tie him to the relentless wheel of birth and death.
Yeah. So this is very important. Here also Swami is telling it is always continuous sadhana. Every day, whatever spiritual practices, there is, Swami also said beautifully, Niyama nishthalatodan anukulchu varini kapaduchundeti ghanatanaku. Whatever spiritual discipline we do, you should have a regularity with the discipline, whatever it is. You can't do the whims and fancies. Some days you do it at 7, some days 8, sometimes do half an hour, sometimes none. That is not good. Swami himself said you need to have a particular discipline in whatever spiritual practices you do. Because spirituality, as Kathopanishad said, is churashya dhara. It is like walking on a razor's edge. You never know when you have get a fall. We have seen great saints, sages like even sage Vishwamitra, how such a great saint who gave the Gayatri mantra to the universe, but he also was subject to temptation for women and temptation for the power and name and fame. So always you need to be alert and do that. That is what the Kathopanishad said. For that, it is a continuous sadhana. Like Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you have a cooking vessel in the old days, brass vessel, just you do just to live few days, then it gets tarnished. So every day you need to polish it to keep it without any stains. So similarly, we should always keep our mind alert by the continuous sadhana, whether it is japa or dhyana or anything. Because otherwise, our vasanas, everybody, one time my father was asking Swami how to not to be born again, punarjanma, to avoid. He says, if your purva janma vasanas are gone, then you won't have punarjanma. Because we all have that tendencies we carry forward. This is carry forward from previous lifetime. So unless they are gone, that is how do they go away? By continuous practice. You can see in the same family, I have seen the two children, their same genetics, same environment. One guy is interested to doing good, studies well, has good work. Other guy is just not responsible, had bad habits. You can't blame. Genetics is the same, and the environment is the same. Why? Because they carry forward that what you have in the previous life that comes in this life. That is why we should always have the good tendency. That is why everything Swami starts is, just I will end here. What starts with thoughts? Good thoughts. So that is why you sow a thought, you reap an action. So when you think something, oh, I want to do this, let me go to service project, or read me this, do the meditation half an hour. That is a good thought. Then right away put an action. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Go on doing every day, same time, half an hour meditation. It becomes your habit. And sow a habit, you reap a character. Oh, that man is such a good man. He always disciplined, like to help people, or just do contemplation, not argue, not talk too much. So that is a character. Oh, such a man, noble character. We talk about great people. Then because why? Because they have good habit. And sow a character, and you reap a destiny. Your destiny, don't blame on karma. There is nothing but we are responsible for our own destiny. That is why for all that, the important is to have good thoughts, good actions, good habits, and good characters. That is what it is, the whole thing is. Sai Ram, and we'll continue next week.